Can't believe it. I am 44 and my wife is the same age. My separation is the result of a bizarre series of events in which I'd like to share. After being married for 9 years, my wife decided to leave, stating that she was stressed from the kids and she felt in the middle all the time. Her 3 kids. My stepkids. While traveling to visit her daughter, 19, who is in college and was depressed from just breaking up with her boyfriend, my wife decided to contact an old friend of mine who lives on the East Coast to discuss depression about her daughter with him. His sister suffered from this. While contacting him, the discussion turned physical. She always had something for him which I noticed in past gatherings and such but thought it was just innocent flirting. Anyway, he decided to bash me and convince her to leave me, citing I wasn't worthy. She'd be happier without me, etc. He has known to break up couples in the past and garners a sick pleasure from doing so. When she returned, about a week went by where she was cold, discerning, aloof and distant, although these signs were prevalent before she left as well. Constant texting, avoiding me, etc. Then, one morning after going out with friends, where she ignored me all night, she said she was leaving me. It was shortly after this that I checked her online phone bill and noticed numerous texts and calls to him. Starting the day she went to visit her daughter, he persuaded her to leave me, and he brainwashed her into doing so. He's very persuasive and manipulative. I stayed in the house for 2 months before moving, which was hell. I caught her texting to him one night, and I constantly asked her about their contact. I received answers from none of your business to who cares to denial, all out of sync with each other. They were still in contact. When I moved out, I later discovered she slept with him the night I moved out. She picked him up at the airport and they had slept together in her car. He was in town to pick up his vehicle. This was planned, as she wanted me out a month earlier because of this night. The next 8 months led to my wife engaging in crazy things with married men and other women. She would tell me these episodes outright, even showing me videos of her hanging out with strangers which were on her phone. It ruined me. I asked her not to, but she proceeded, and I was like a deer in the lights. She turned into a crazy person, all fronted from her and my ex-friend sharing their stories and sending footage back and forth to each other. They had no intention of being together as a couple. He got her into this, as she was never like this before or had this type of character. Her niece told her she needed help but refused. She showed and told these stories to her friends, fooled around with guys at work, during work, in a school. She was out of control. She even told me she didn't use protection, and was getting checked for STD all the while. We kept in contact throughout our separation, and she used me for money and favors. I couldn't believe what she turned into, all under the influence of this idiot. After a year, this plagues my mind daily. We haven't spoken in a month. She accuses me of guilting her and manipulating her when I bring this up. She shuts down the conversation instantly. She was a different woman, uncaring, hurtful, and was hypnotized by this adventurous lifestyle. Her threesome stuff was with married couples which floored me. It was like she was proud of it, rubbing it into me. I learned that she told someone I knew that I was a mistake and I should have stayed as a renter instead of a husband when I moved into her home after we met. I saw her through a series of crises with her kids and ex-husband through the 9 years we were married. Her kids were also hard to deal with, as I was the stepdad and it wasn't easy. I believe her and my ex-friend are still in contact. She slept with him at Christmas when he came home. I believe she is attempting a relationship with someone new now, but I don't know if this dirty stuff has ceased. I am hurt and broken. I've seen 5 counselors, and even though I'm getting better, I can't believe our healthy and happy marriage, which it was, turned into this mainly because of one backstabber. I still wake up and go to bed asking why. Couldn't she be normal, or easier to read, or grounded? Tea was truly over before it began. I should have seen it. Took me home from a bar, then asked me if wanted to go home sleeping together. I said no, I'd like to spend the night. Then I was hooked. 6 months later, I'm living in her house. 5 months after that, I'm married, she proposed, half-heartedly. Well, you want to get married. Why not? Only put me on the mortgage when she needed my income to refinance the home. Told me I should have been a renter, and then said I was a mistake, and on and on. She married her first husband at 19. He was 36. All her kids are from him. I guess that's a sign too. How early she married. After 12 years with him, she went 10 months single. Then had a guy move in with his 2 kids, only to see him leave her a year later. Said her kids were too stressful. After 10 months single again, she met me. I lasted 9 years, then she dumped me. And yes, she gave me the I've never lived my life crap too. As for the house, I took $20,000 and walked. It was a good move as the market is terrible and it's been on the market for over a year. No movement. She priced it too high. She'll be lucky to get 10 grand after all this. She's sinking financially, but I'm clear of the money mess. But whatever, she said I was taking $20,000. When I said how about 25, she looked at me with shark wide eyes and yelled, "It's my ducking house." But she put me on the mortgage 8 years ago when she needed to refinance, needed my income. And that was the only reason. I see now, in where I live, you need to wait a year separation before you can file. My year just ended. Divorce next. Only now, like yesterday, I'm feeling better and accepting that she was a monster and toxic. The whole 9 years was a waste. I don't even have kids of my own and would have liked to. She was tied when I met her. Now at 44, I doubt I will. She robbed me of a family, in which I decided to embrace hers as mine. Looking back, I don't believe she truly loved me at all. I should have walked like the guy before me. No heartfelt sentiments or deep chats in 9 years. And never an I love you while looking in my eyes. Always while looking away. These things I remember. How I watched her crap, by the way. She held the phone in my face and it was playing. Yes, I should have been strong and told her to get out. But I'll be honest, I was so dumbstruck that I watched and was in disbelief. Only a couple of times, but it was like a car accident. I just couldn't believe my eyes and that she was actually doing this. Also, I tried to be strong and show her I didn't care. Tried to seem like I didn't care and was unaffected. But the aftermath, what it did to my subconscious is what took the toll. Just the fact that she attempted to disclose this was hurtful. No. And when she began to relay these stories verbally, I did cut her off with stop. Just the fact that she was willing to show me was damaging in itself. I was weak, I admit it, and my city isn't that large. I heard many things from many others. I take the blame for succumbing. I've been a month of no contact at all. I should have never texted, talked, seen her. That's the reason, and my mistake, for the state I'm in. I admit, I was weak, and not myself. I don't speak to my stepdaughter anymore. 20, never accepted me. Jealous I spent time with her mom, and has issues from her first dad. And truly turned when her mom left me. 19-year-old stuck up for me until mom told him I didn't want him to move back home. He had drug, booze issues, and I told her he'd have to get help first since he was a detriment to our marriage. He turned on me and his mom, since his mom refused him to come home 3 months later as well. I still see the 16-year-old boy. We're pretty close. I practically raised him and he's a good kid. The other two played back and forth with mom, dad the whole time I was married to her. I wanted a family. If she wasn't tied, I probably would have had my own kids with her. Luckily, I didn't. She was a people pleaser, took me into her home, and seemed proud of me. But the negatives outweigh the positives, which I see now. I was blinded by a new love, an attractive woman, and a new family. That, despite its horrendous dysfunction, offered me a role to play as dad and husband, but it was always me versus them. I received barely any support from her when trying to discipline the kids or tell them not to tell their mom to or follow some rules in the house. She let most of this slide, and when she left, she said, I don't want to be in the middle anymore. But she never discussed issues at all, or rarely, during the marriage. She shut me down when I brought them up with statements like, don't stress me out or stop guilting me. Yes, there were times in the last 3 months where I said to myself, out loud, that I should leave, but I stayed hoping it was just a hump we could get over. Maybe I would have felt empowered in deciding to leave. I don't know, but you and other posters are correct. I should have left early on. She has left such a scar on my psyche that it feels I'll never recover. It's not just one event. It's layers of things that happened. I'm trying to be strong. Looking at all I lost, such as a family, home, lifestyle, it's quite disheartening. But I'm trying to overcome it one day at a time. About a month later. Okay, so, my ex-wife has been in a relationship with a new man for about 3 months. We have been separated for a year now. We did keep in contact for the first 8 months and were amicable, even though she took advantage of me and used me. I know, my bad. As of March, we haven't been in contact. I heard through others about her new man. I should state that right after she left, she went through a lot of crazy things with different people. She told me and I confirmed it. I received a few texts from her yesterday, out of the blue. I'm going to relay a few things she said in them, and I would like you to offer up your input and opinions, as I'm a little confused. I keep her number because of my stepson. BTW. How are things? Are you playing ball? Did you get that full-time teaching position at the college? Are you with anyone? Are you happy? Bill and I are moving forward. I met his kids last week. I only realized how much he likes me last week. I am getting my confidence back. He has lots of laughs like you. I've always been a one-guy girl. I cried over all my bills I have to pay. The house won't sell. When you buy your car, you'll have to show me. Blue is my favorite color. You're a good person. I still feel sad about us. I still don't want to live with anyone. Coffee soon. Okay, or is that a bad idea? I did not respond to her Thursday texts. And yesterday, out of the blue again, I get this text. The lawnmower won't start. Don't tell me this. I don't care. I didn't respond. And an hour later, I got it started after 40 pulls. Again, I didn't respond. I brushed it off. I would never attempt reconciliation, so I will tell her to stop contacting me. If I was in a relationship, I would not be texting my ex-wife over such trivial things. Ego kibbles maybe. Unreal. I truly realize I've been weak and too analytic this whole separation time. The hurt, pain, missing her, and anxiety are gone. She used me, and all of you are correct. I've no reason for contact or ties to her at all. It was this kick in the back I needed, truly, which is why I posted this. I'm done. No contact. Ignore and avoid. She's a mess that can't be cleaned up. I agree. There is no doubt in my mind that she is not only texting me, but a number of other guys while 3 months into her new relationship, which puts an even greater perspective on what kind of person she truly is. A few months back, she verbally stated, "I want you to find someone so I'm off the hook. If it doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does." Among the other things she said and done. Sometimes I think I'm so fascinated with the complexity, the ruthlessness, and the corrupt makeup of this woman that it floors me, still in disbelief that I dedicated 9 years of my life to this. I feel shamed, embarrassed, and a chump. Before posting this, I almost entertained the thought of going for coffee with her, but realized 2 things. 1. She is only offering this to alleviate guilt, and even if I said yes, she wouldn't follow through. 2. She wants to test the waters to see if she can ask me for money yet again. I won't see her and won't respond to her contacts. There is no good that can come from any of it. I want to despise her, and sometimes I do, but under that I feel sympathy for her lack of self-esteem and dignity and morals, for her ability to deflect intimacy from others and not feel remorse for her actions, or she pretends to feel bad to anyway. She has a large social circle, the life of the party, always fun, but when it comes time to be serious, she deflects and buries these situations. She has been on anti-anxiety and sleeping meds long before I met her. I guess that was a flag that I oversaw. A few weeks later, I told her I just met a guy who was interested in her and wanted to text her. I told her I showed him her pic. Her desire was so strong at that point, she told me to go ahead and give him her number. This alone was a little shocking. I'm her fresh ex-husband after 9 years and she's saying okay to this. That's when I knew she didn't care one bit about me. So, I texted her the number, but it was a number that I downloaded from an app. She took the bait and right away began texting him, me, asking for pics, talking dirty. When can we meet, etc. I played it up, making sure I used lingo I wouldn't use as me. I told her my phone was being repaired and was texting her from a laptop, since I assumed she'd want to talk eventually. She bought it as she is not at all technology knowledgeable. I even told her I couldn't send pics because it was a work laptop. She didn't care. The texting continued as we chatted and I warmed up to her. I found out the details of the night she slept with my friend. Truth. I also pretended to listen to her story, and she loved it. I found out about all her crap with other couples, other men, and her stuff at her place of work. It revealed even more what kind of a woman she was, as now I assumed this may have been going on while still married to me, even though she was revealing bits and pieces to me in person. Why? To be hurtful, I guess. Well, now I was finding out more. What a tramp she became. Yet she did state once to this fake guy that she never crossed the line while married. As this fake person, I told her I wasn't really friends with her ex. I just used him to meet her. She trusted this, as she was so screwed up. And that's when she told this fake guy about her true feelings about me. How I was a mistake, how she hated me in the end, how she felt she was a mommy to me, and on and on. All the while visiting me as me to try to get money and favors out of me. Well, now I knew the real her. The other side of this woman I never thought existed. She didn't reveal this stuff to me in person, as she faked empathy and sympathy when she saw me. She texted good morning, sunshine every morning to this guy. She also revealed how she felt about my longtime friend she just slept with, how there was always energy when he was around, and how she was going to meet up with him in Toronto in November and how she'd do anything for him. I must say, I was shaking every time I texted her as this guy. It went on for weeks. She never found out. Sometimes I would send errant texts at the same time as this character was texting. After a while, as this guy, I disappeared when she began asking when we could meet in person. Upon meeting her at my place one day to iron out the separation agreement and finances, I casually asked if she ever did text this guy. Aloofly she said, "Yeah, we texted a bit," and changed the subject. I dropped it too. I told my counselors this. One said that it was mentally damaging, and I shouldn't have found out so much and it will leave scars. One told me that it was a clever way to find out the truth about her. And now it's easier to leave this trash behind and move on. I have been holding this back, but I needed to relay this here. I wanted to post this for the longest time but was afraid I'd be judged or ridiculed. I am not sorry I did it now, even though I drank heavily and shook uncontrollably during this period. And it was weird. There were times when this fake person I made up took over. And there were moments where I felt like I was truly him, almost surreal. Her job didn't suffer what it should have. She works with special kids at a high school. A few of her events happened during working hours. Going to a single teacher's office, locking the door. I knew this guy. It was one of her friends. He actually did some work on our house while we were separated and I helped him. She also, sometimes the same day, went to the boiler room and performed the same acts of the janitor, who was married, and actually thought about leaving his wife for her. She told me this is me and the fake guy. She led him on really well. It seems she started to act cold and callous when I began complaining about her frequent texting. So much so that I began to avoid her. She wasn't even responding to my conversations anymore. All this started about 2 to 3 months before she announced she was leaving me. There was even an instance when she said she was tired and going to bed. I followed about 20 minutes later. She was up, light on, texting. When I said, "I thought you were going to bed. You were tired," she got very defensive and barked back at me something rude. This is probably when she realized she couldn't fake stuff anymore and that I was onto her, and she had checked out. I knew we would never reconcile the day she left me. What I found out by doing this is how she really felt about me, her ease at putting herself out there for other men, and validation that she indeed slept with my friend the night she moved me out. Despite her denial and her excuses, she gave for where she really was that evening and what she did. I asked her, looking her straight in the eyes and up close, if she still contacts my ex-friend. She responded with a very convincing, "No, I don't talk to him anymore," which was before she actually slept with him. I guess I found out how easily she lies, and I can be secure in the knowledge that she lied while married. Closure. I guess so, but that doesn't cease the pain. 2 months later, a text from the ex-wife asking if I could ask someone I know to hire on her 21-year-old daughter ASAP, who hates me and is home from school this summer. Then how my ex is desperate and how she'd really appreciate it, and how she's in huge financial trouble. The house won't sell. She's on unemployment this summer, and she can't pay for her daughter's phone. Then a pic of my ex holding up a fish she caught at her new man's cottage a few weekends ago. I texted back only one response. I asked, "Seriously, do you love him?" "Pretty sure," was the prolonged response. I stepped back and looked at these texts, and I knew I was done. No anxiety, no whys, no analyzing. Just a small, little goodbye in my mind that I actually mouthed out loud in my living room. Finally, I had done it. I felt nothing. I didn't care anymore. After all her crazy stuff, her lies, her excuses, her false love, I am done. Completely. Go ahead and move on with him. My mind began to drift to the mornings waking up with her, the evenings in the backyard sipping coffee, the Christmases and birthdays, what I had and what she became, how I was a damn good husband who never cheated, not even flirted, how I cried when she came out of back surgery successfully, and how I put up with countless consecutive nights of her just sleeping on the couch because of her meds and depression. I guess a year is about right. She loves another now. So, go ahead, love, but don't come to me when they foreclose on your house. Don't come to me when you need favors or money or anything. I wasn't perfect, but I loved her, and that's all I need to remember. About half a year later, my ex called me about paperwork this weekend we both received from the government regarding our date of separation. We have to fill in our date of separation, etc. This is the first time we spoke since September. We were cordial. We spoke for 3 hours. She was driving down south to visit her daughter. We went over some good times, the reasons we weren't compatible, my shortcomings. Yet she never voiced hers even though I brought up the problems she presented, including lack of intimacy, too much texting, her pulling away, etc. She mentioned at least 4 times how she never cheated. I am skeptical of this because of her actions during the separation. Yet she proclaims this to be true. She turned into crazy person after we split. She slept with my friend the very night I moved out of the home after 9 years, and it was premeditated through texts throughout the 2 months I resided in the home while separated. She doesn't know I know this. I never revealed to her that I know this. Although in the past when I brought up that I caught her texting him right after we split, she said I ended talking to him. She did not. They kept texting, which led to their thing the night I left, and another that Christmas when he came to town again. The conversation ended okay. We talked about our new vehicles, her son's new job at a grocery store, and her daughter's last year in college that is ending soon. It's almost as though she was looking to make sure we were okay, or that she can go on in her life knowing I have no resentment. But I do, because her and my friend did one of the cruelest things ever to me, right in the thick of a fresh separation where she should have been lamenting our breakup. Even sicker, she said she contacted him to speak of her daughter's depression at the time. And depression is what led this ex-friend's sister to hang herself. So there was a commonality there. Yet my ex-wife did this without telling me. If it was so innocent, why did she do it behind my back? And then my ex-wife turned it into physical. She admitted all this to me when I posed as a fake guy through text who pretended he wanted to sleep with her. She revealed everything to him, which was in fact me. So, I know the truth, but I never told her I know. During this talk on Saturday, she told me how much more she has in common with this new guy of a year now, and how he is 300 pounds but it's the person who matters, etc. She then said that he never wants to live with her. And she said the same, but I think she was disappointed in his take on this. She said to me nothing lasts forever, and she lives day by day, but I think she was hoping to live with him in the future. But he doesn't want that. For the record, her and I will never get together again. She has done too much damage to me, and she will never want me again as a partner, which is very, very good. I agree with this, and in no way do I want her again in my life at all. So, my question is this: why can't I tell her I know about what she did? I think it might make me look weak at this point, 2 years later. It is a burden in my psyche that haunts me daily. Doesn't she deserve to know I know? She is living every day with the security that I don't have a clue, because if she found out I knew, she would know I understand what kind of low life she is. And it's important to her that she believes I think she didn't do this for her own peace of mind. Should I just tell her? What does it matter now? Why is this such a roadblock for me? This 3-hour convo didn't hurt me, even though she said how much more her BF has in common with her than I did. I think this was a good sign. Even her releasing my shortcomings, yet again, had little impact. But she didn't once say that she did anything wrong in the marriage. Anyway, we didn't fight or yell or argue. I gave strong rebuttals to her points, and yes, some of the things she said I did were valid. And I admitted to them, but also stated that marriage is never perfect and you have to work on the struggles and the times the partner begins to take things for granted, etc. She admitted she didn't want to fix the marriage back then. This ended in a stalemate, but she shut me down in regard to me mentioning to her what a woman she was during separation. She stated, "Don't ever send me a text like that, or say that again." She is referring to a text I sent 6 months ago stating, "How can you love anyone when you can't even love yourself?" pertaining to how many men and women she slept with after me. Of course, this behavior of hers never entered the convo. Like it never happened, or it's a part of her life she rug swept forever. We ended this talk cordially, which sort of irks me because I think that is what she is looking for. Making sure I'm not an enemy, because God forbid, a people pleaser like her must have no enemies. I guess what I want is for her to suffer a bit, to know I realize what a louse she is. She will then fear I'll tell more people, and even her new man. But I won't. I did not see her suffer much when our marriage ended, mainly because she was in the thick of her promiscuity, which I believe masked any sorrow or lamenting she should have had. She filled her time with bedding half the city, deflecting her thoughts about the demise of our marriage. Even though I won't really see her suffering, if she does at all, I will still have released that she now knows I know the truth. It bothers her that some of my friends won't look at her in passing. Some will though, and talk to her etc. when they meet at a public place, etc. She wants to maintain a clean image, and believe it or not much about her crap after we split is out there. I still wonder how she didn't get caught sleeping with a co-worker teacher and married janitor daily at her high school that she works. I'm not one for revenge, but shouldn't she pay for her lies just a little? The only person I would entertain telling is her new boyfriend. He is a respectable man. I know people that know him, with 3 teenage daughters. A hard worker. And very good job. I would love to tell him about her true character, but it would look like sour grapes, like I want them to break up, and that I'm just a disturber. But sometimes I think he should know, just so a good man can be saved of a future with her. But I guess he'll find out if she is still that woman. As I said before, he has already mentioned that he has no desire to live with her in the future. She said this almost broke them up. Maybe he sees flags already. Story 2. I'll make this as brief as possible, just looking for some input. I have been married to my H for about a year and we have been together for 6 years. We have always fought, but worked through our conflicts. Although at times things were particularly nasty. We talked about all of this before we got married and agreed that we were very much in love and had been together for 5 years. Also, that we had been committed for a while and nothing was going to change that. A few months after we got married, we started fighting and having communication issues on a daily basis. I wanted to see a counselor but he did not. I was angry about this in the general situation and was mean and hurtful to him verbally. Eventually, he began to tell me that he now thought we should seek help. And at that point I said no. I was hurt from before and bitter. Obviously, this was a mistake. About 5 months ago he told me that things had gotten to the point where he had lost trust and shut off emotionally, and he was reconsidering the relationship. At this point I became painfully aware of how my behavior was affecting us and apologized and agreed to go to counseling. Unfortunately, our therapist was incredibly unhelpful, and we decided not to see him anymore. I wanted to go to somebody else, but my H didn't. For the last 5 months we have been getting along great, and my H says we are best friends, but he can't see anything beyond that. He says that he is attracted to me very much but won't go there because he isn't emotionally connected to me in that way anymore. I am still in love with him and feel that if we are best friends and there is attraction between us, as well as the fact that we were madly in love for multiple years, that we should continue to try to work on our relationship. My H feels that there is too much blocking off his heart and he wants to split up. However, he keeps saying things like life is long, you never know what will happen, and I care about you more than you know. He wants to stay friends, but I can't do that without hope for the future. At this point, he is planning to go stay with a friend, and is thinking about keeping in touch with potential hope while still personally moving on and maybe even dating. All at my suggestion to help give space. I am okay with this if it is my only option. I just don't know what to do, and I really want things to work out between us. I have changed my negative attitude since the real problem started. But my H is afraid that it isn't real and I'm only doing it because of the threat of losing him. Sadly, I have been surprised at how easy it has been to change my behavior. I feel much better and more confident as a person and wish I would have acted sooner. I have agreed to go to therapy individually to prove myself. Many of these problems were a product of my anxiety, and we both know that. I would like very much to build a new foundation, but my H doesn't have faith in this. Is there any hope for us? The problem is that he won't go to counseling. He is saying that there is no chance, that he misses the good times but can't get over the fact that it is tainted with bad. I am looking for my own place. I'm devastated. Does stuff like this ever come back around? I am willing to explore other options but can't get rid of this as a possibility. I have way too much invested. A week later, today he brought me separation papers. We talked for hours and he cried. I told him that I was moving on, but not closing the door in case anything was to happen in the future. Basically that I wasn't ruling it out as an option, but that other options were on the table as well. He said that for now things were over and that he wasn't going to talk about the future, but he understands where I'm coming from. He says that we both need time to ourselves and that he cares but is not in love with me. I just don't know how to play this. I guess I just need to move on and hope for the best. I told him that I didn't want to talk about our history again and that we should just forget about labeling things and be individuals. Any advice is appreciated. My comment: you guys got any advice for OP number 2 from a guy's perspective? Comment down below. Sub and bell, and I'm going to make something to eat and prepare the next story.